Hello.
Hey there, you look gorgeous.
Oh my God, so do you. Look at us, so Christmassy.
So festive.
So glorious. It's giving holiday party 2022. And I'm ready to tackle our Christmas special extravaganza. Olivia, are you ready to jingle your bells?
I am always ready to jingle my bells.
Without further ado, welcome everyone to another episode of Another Picture Show podcast. I'm Madalyne.
And I'm Olivia.
And we are two best friends. We're out here in the Christmas season, just trying to make it more merry and bright.
Well, this is our first annual Christmas episode.
That's true. I think Aaron Sorkin started putting out death threats around Thanksgiving, so we dropped off.
Yeah, we never seem to make it to Christmas. So this is our
We've tried many times and failed, and we're finally here.
So this is our first annual Christmas episode, and hopefully we'll have another one next year. But we're doing a Christmas bracket this year. The bracket is not made, but we have a bowl filled with 32 Christmas movies.
I'm excited.
And we'll be filling it out as we go. But I'm excited to get started with you. So Madalyne, have you come with your hottest takes and biggest of thoughts on Christmas movies?
Literally as hot as the fireplaces which Santa slides down, and as big as Santa's ass. I'm fucking ready.
Amazing. All right. So before we get started, Madalyne, how do you feel about Christmas movies in general?
It really takes me a minute to get into the holiday season, to get into the Christmas spirit. But there are definitely movies like I watch with my family, kind of tradition every single year. And then some I just kind of forget about. And then I'm like, oh my God, yeah, like, let's watch this. Haven't seen it in a minute. And it's always delightful.
Like, what's the Devlin Christmas tradition?
It is definitely around obviously either Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, we'll watch A Christmas Story. That is my mom's favorite Christmas movie. She loves it. It's also just amazing. It's classic. So I'm trying not to put too much bias and too much weight into A Christmas Story, but that is definitely one. I watch Elf probably every year. I always love watching Harry Potter. We kind of talked about this before around Christmas time. And, you know, those weird, like, the claymation ones, those are always, like,
the old Rankin Bass ones.
Yeah, I don't seek them out, but they show up, and I'm like, okay, I'm here. They're just on TV randomly, and I'll just sit down and watch it. And then, of course, I do love the, like, corny Netflix ones and, like, Hallmark ones, but I don't think we're getting into that. We're sticking with, like, the solid classics, right?
Yeah, I haven't put any Netflix original Christmas movies or Hallmark movies in our bucket here, but
it would be like 132 movies if we started diving into Netflix.
Like, there's no way to narrow down like which ones I would put in there because they're all amazing. So,
well, what about you? What are your Christmas movies?
I love Christmas movies. I feel like I'm a very sentimental person at heart, and Christmas is just the time of year that like I can be sentimental and no one judges me for it, you know? And Christmas movies I tend to watch as soon as Thanksgiving's over. I just I start watching.
You dive right in.
Yeah. I think this, I've talked about my dad's influence on like my movie watching habits, and I think he definitely had a influence on me in that respect. We always watch Christmas movies every year, and it kind of started with the old Rankin Bass ones, and Miracle on 34th Street, It's a Wonderful Life. I think the Santa Claus is up there for me. But yeah, so I guess what makes a good Christmas movie for you, so we can kind of have an idea of what we're dealing with going into this bracket?
I think first of all, I really think location is important. And that might be a hot take. That might be one of my fireplace hot takes is I'm not here for a Christmas movie set in, like, for example, Bad Santa, it's set in Arizona. Like, I'm not here for it. Like, I get that Christmas happens all over the world and in various climates. Like, I'm not unaware of that. But, you're thinking holiday, you're thinking winter, you're thinking, like, cuddly blanket, you're in a snuggie, it's snowing outside. I mean, you live more in a climate where it snows. I don't as much. But at least it gets cold here and it gets a little frosty. So like I like that vibe where it's like it's frosty, it's chilly, like people are bundled up, there's Christmas lights and it's snowing and like little Eskimo kisses kind of thing. And all of that rings Christmas setting. And then obviously it has to get to the core of like the Christmas spirit, which is like giving and family and like togetherness. Like no matter who the family is, it doesn't have to be like mom, dad, you know, grandma, whatever. But, you know, whether the character is like learning the true meaning of Christmas or they're saving Christmas from somebody, you know, nefarious, whatever. It really has to like hit home to like the true meaning of just like core wholesome family values. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I vibe with
and
all
as a
that.
staunch Republican,
you got the red sweater on.
Yeah. Like elephant rises in the background. And here's my bigger hot take coming in.
No, I agree with all of that. I hadn't thought about the like setting aspect of what making a good Christmas movie, but I think that's a good point. I think the vibes are very important. I need to feel the winter, cozy, snuggly, warm vibes.
Yeah. Like set it in a New England like mountain town somewhere in Maine and I'm your girl. Like I'm already like 50% invested. Like you're already halfway there setting it in the right place.
Because I can't get down with like a fake Christmas tree and an LA Christmas, you know, like it just palm trees in the background, like the vibes are confusing. So a good Christmas movie for me, I agree, needs to have the correct setting. Again, I'm very sentimental, so the like nice Christmas message is important to me. I think there's a lot of hit and misses with Christmas movies.
Yes.
So we'll get into the nitty gritty of that once we get into our bracket. But I agree. I think the nice family values of Christmas movies is very important, and just making you feel the Christmas spirit and feeling the cozy vibes and the being around the people that you love and all that jazz.
Agreed.
So, yeah. I'm excited to get started. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I cannot wait to see what is pulled out of the bucket first. Like what goes against what? Because like this is crazy. Like this could be a complete wild, literal wild card. Smash Bros. Melee. Like let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have our like favorite Christmas movies in mind, but they might get knocked out pretty quickly based off of the setup here. So let's see.
This is true. It's scary.
All right, so I have all of the movies here for the people watching on YouTube. You can't see any of the names. I am reaching in. I can't see what's going on.
I trust you wholeheartedly.
Number 1. Oh, starting out very strong. It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Versus
A Christmas Story.
All right, let's do this. Let's fucking get started. We are coming in hot.
The hottest of
coming in hot.
Madalyne, give me your initial thoughts.
All right. Well, we already know I watch it every year, and it's a family favorite. I also love it a lot. I do understand It's a Wonderful Life is like literally a staple Christmas movie. Like it is. I do really like the premise of It's a Wonderful Life because it's similar to like it has a similar setup to Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, the main character is kind of just this is a main character who learns the meaning of Christmas, like who literally has to go through like a ton of like trauma in order to learn the meaning of Christmas. So like points there. However, I'm going to maybe hot take. I'm going to say that A Christmas Story currently has a bigger cultural impact than It's a Wonderful Life.
I wouldn't say cultural impact. I would say they are pretty much equal in like how juggernaut they are, like in the Christmas movie sphere. I think A Christmas Story is more modern, so I think more people tend to return to it every year.
I really love that you say more modern. It was made in like the 60s, or not the 60s, geez, like the 80s.
Yeah, 83.
83.
Yeah. So, yeah, It's a Wonderful Life came out in 1947. Christmas Story came out in 1983. I think more modern is, you know, like it's just like a
Yes,
more
it is.
traditional, like for the people who think that watching black and white films is like
Yeah,
lame, you
corny
know?
and lame. Yeah.
I think they're equal in their cultural impact.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think we're gonna come out with the same answer for this round, but I have to put in my 2 cents for It's a
Of
Wonderful
course. Of course. All sides
because
have to be heard.
yes, I think it's just a beautiful film all around. It's wonderfully
Mhm.
made, wonderfully shot. It's the only movie in this entire bracket that won Best Picture.
Really?
Mhm. It's on the AFI list, top 100 or whatever. It's like one of
Yeah.
the best films ever made because I think it goes deeper than just like Christmas.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's kind of he learns a lot about like seeing value in like his loved ones, like the people that were already in his life, and he not only learns the meaning of Christmas, but he like truly is like, "Oh yeah, I do love my family and like the people in my life." So,
And
I
he
was a
just
silly
learns to
Billy.
like see the value in his own life and what he's been able to contribute to the town that he loves,
Right.
and like how despite the things that he's given up, he's given so much to the people around him and they love him and value him even though like he might be feeling very down
Agreed.
in this one moment. But A Christmas Story is hilarious
Better?
and no, I'm not going to say
No,
it's
just
better.
kidding. I'm
I'm
kidding.
not going to say it's better. It's iconic in a different way
Yeah.
and quotable.
Quotable. There's just like so many as like iconic moments, the lamp, you'll shoot your eye out. Like there's not enough time to be like to sing the praises of A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think also both movies are tackling different perspectives of like experiencing Christmas, you know?
yeah,
Like A
absolutely.
Christmas Story is about the wonder of being a kid at Christmas. And like you kind of see how hard it is on the parents a little bit, but it's like mostly
Right.
like what is Christmas like as a child? And so you have that sentimental like attachment to the film and the story because we
Mm-hmm.
all can like relate to like our parents stressing out and being a little ridiculous in our perspective. And then A Wonderful Life is like about a guy being prevented from committing suicide. So it's a
I
little
know,
little
a
darker,
little dark, like when
a
you
little
think about
darker.
it, you know? And I feel like some Christmas story, like some Christmas movies kind of have like a bit of a dark-sided undertone to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're like, egad.
But yeah,
Um,
I mean, It's a Wonderful Life is like anti-capitalist adult film, and
yeah,
A Christmas Story is very much like sweet family drama, you know, or
yeah.
comedy, I guess.
It is very cute.
So I guess we've decided to move forward with A Christmas Story.
That was really savage.
That
Like
was I
that
wasn't
was
expecting to go like to I wasn't expecting them to be matched together right off the bat, but
right. Yeah,
you
I,
know,
I was maybe like top three, four, like they were gonna go head to head. But this is what we get for randomizing
I
it.
need to I suppose so. I'm gonna mix this up again because that was a lot right off the bat. I need some like, bottom of the barrel Christmas movies. Let's see.
Yeah, some
Next we
easy
have
pickings.
Home Alone 2.
That's Lost in New York, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Home Alone 2 versus A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Ooh. So here we are with A Muppet Christmas Carol versus Home Alone 2. For me, it's pretty obvious. I really love A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, what if I said Home Alone 2? That'd be kind of wild.
I mean, like,
I really love Donald Trump's cameo, like fucking elephant in the background.
there's a theme. There's a theme coming out in this
There's a
episode.
theme here. Let's point it out.
It's a new year, new Madalyne.
Yeah. My goal 2023. Put the Christ back in Christmas. I'm here for anything the Muppets do is just probably gonna win.
Yeah, I agree. I think I've only seen Home Alone 2 maybe once in my life. And the only thing that I think it has going for it is, well, there's a few things. It's Christmas time in New York, which I think is, magical, but
Lovely.
also Tim Curry's in it.
The Pigeon Lady.
The Pigeon Lady, Donald Trump's cameo.
He stays at the Plaza, which is like an iconic monument in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
adds to the Christmasiness.
it's all fun. It's all very fun. But I agree. anything Muppets is far superior. So, okay. So Muppet, that was easy. Muppet Christmas Carol moves on. Next, we have Four Christmases versus Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I'm going Rudolph.
I think we have to. I think
Yeah.
Classic.
Honestly, I've seen Four Christmases once. Like
Four
maybe
Christmases is not a good movie. So we don't even
like
need to
it wants to be Love Actually, but it's not.
Does it?
I don't know. It has like that whole multi-perspective of Christmas. Am I thinking of the wrong movie?
Maybe. I thought it was just they were trying to go visit their four families on Christmas because their parents are divorced. So there's like they're going to their mom's house, dad's house, mom's house.
I'm thinking of the wrong movie, and so maybe I've never seen Four Christmases.
That's all right. I'm gonna put my influence on this one. It's not a good movie. No, it came out in 2008, same year as Twilight. But
I was preoccupied.
We had other things to worry about that year.
There was a lot on my mind that year.
It just has that like air of like like 2000s humor. There's a lot of like famous people in it, and I think the concept is good, but execution it falls flat. It feels like a straight to DVD type comedy.
Lame. They should do a remake of it.
Yeah.
Like the premise, like as you described, sounds good. They should do a remake.
Because it's very relatable. Like as a young adult now with a partner and divorced parents.
It's more like 6 Christmases.
The holidays can be a little stressful. And so like the concept is very relatable, but I think we haven't talked about Rudolph at all. Rudolph is just, classic. I feel like we can't
cute.
We can't
Some
give
people
it to
are unnerved by the animation style of Rudolph, but I don't care. My sister, it's my sister.
Oh, okay.
She's unnerved by it.
By people you mean Maeve?
By people I mean my sister. And she's not here, so we're moving forward with Rudolph.
Yeah, I can't give it to Vince Vaughn over Hermie the elf. So
no,
like the elf wants to be a dentist.
Not. None of us would have teeth if it wasn't for Hermie. I said what I said.
Okay. All right. So moving on.
Okay.
We have The Holiday. The Holiday versus Jack Frost.
Okay.
So I did watch Jack Frost today, and I have to say, it's actually a decent movie. Like,
it's pretty good. Like
I thought it was solid.
Interesting.
I think the story is very heartwarming. The acting and dialogue is actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
The design of the snowman itself is a little questionable.
Yes.
But I think it's a solid movie. And I think I had like biases against it before coming into this bracket, but rewatching it, I was like, you know what? This is fine. This is a better movie than I remember it being.
Yeah. It's cute. But I love Jack Black.
Yeah, no, The Holiday it's taking it.
Yeah, of course. Shout out to Jack Frost. Like I remember that movie very like from when I was younger, and I had to rewatch it though because I was like, I didn't remember how it ended. Not that it really mattered.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all.
It does not. It's a Christmas movie. Like you kind of figure out how it ends.
It's kind of a sad movie.
It is really sad. Like the first 10 minutes, you're like, oh my god, this is horrible. This is so depressing. So
like Michael Keaton does a great job of like building up the relationship between the dad and the son.
I know. And it always made me terrified to drive in snow. Like even as a kid. Yeah, after I saw it.
Speaking of settings for Christmas movies, like the amount of snow in this movie is obscene. Like their streets are, I feel like I would be terrified to drive in this town at any point. Like they have like snow plows going all the time, but like it doesn't seem to be doing anything because like the streets are constantly covered in snow and he's constantly shoveling, and it's kind of scary. Like it reminds me of the bad part about winter. Like
like once New Year's is over and you're just stuck with the snow and the sun setting at 3 p.m.
Because like I like snow. When it first comes, it's snowing, it's gorgeous, everything's covered in snow, it's beautiful. But then you have to like drive in it and deal with it. And
then it gets all brown and gross.
They tried to make it like Winter Wonderland, but they went too far, and it like crossed the line of
winter horrorscape.
It's like stress inducing.
Oh
So yeah,
man.
but the holiday is great. We'll come back to that though. We're gonna have to argue for the holiday again.
We're gonna
So
have to fight for the holiday, man.
next we have happiest season. Okay, happiest season versus Scrooged.
Okay. I honestly feel lukewarm about both. So if you have a stronger opinion of one over the other, I will concede.
I think I I personally have only seen Scrooged like once,
Mm.
and I don't have any particular like attachment to it. I know that it's a classic or whatever, and it's Bill Murray, but like frankly, Bill Murray's having a bit of a cancel moment at the moment. So there's that, and happiest season is it's gay, and I like that. So
Yay.
so let's go happiest season. I don't know.
Okay. Rock on.
Moving on, we
Moving.
have A Charlie Brown Christmas versus The Santa Claus.
Okay. The Santa Claus. All right, here's my thing. Fuck Charlie Brown. I'm sorry.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Literally, I cannot stand the Peanuts.
Why?
I just think they're little shits, like all of them. Also, like I I just don't think any of the movies are that charming or that sweet. Like I feel like people are just holding on to the old husk of a comic that existed 70 years ago and like maybe in the post World War II era gave some comfort to some sad children who are still living off rations. But it's had its day. Stop bringing it around. They have that one iconic song in the beginning when like the wind shit's blowing around. Mm-hmm. And Charlie Brown's a little fucker. Ungrateful son of a bitch. Said what I said.
Okay. I mean that's fine because the Santa Claus is I think one of my favorite movies. Yeah. Like Christmas movies. So like I was gonna fight for that one, but yeah, Tim Allen, the
Tim Allen, not a little fucker. Don't come for me, Charlie Brown. I will fuck you up.
I mean, I have no beef with the Peanuts, but I also have no attachment to them really, other than I see them every year, you know?
I think it's just honestly for me, it's like that weird shitty kid dry humor, like Lucy and like all them, like they suck ass. Snoopy's cute. Snoopy and
Woodstock.
Yeah, Woodstock. They're cute. Like they do make up for it a little bit. Like if Snoopy and Woodstock had their own Christmas movie, I'd watch it and I'd probably enjoy it.
I mean, it's like it's around for a reason. People love it and I do think it's iconic, but I personally have no sentiment around it. I would prefer to watch the Santa Claus because it's hilarious and Tim Allen is frankly an amazing Santa Claus.
He really did. Like when he first came out, he was still pretty young and like the grand scheme of things. So like when they like aged him like into Santa, everybody was probably shooketh. Like I remember being kind of shook when I was a kid that I was like, go Santa.
He's like the perfect mix of like cynical but loves his kid and goofy dad humor. Yeah. Warm still, even though like he's Tim Allen, like he still has a very warm presence as
like when I think like if I had to like visualize Santa, I think I take a lot of visual inspiration from Tim Allen's Santa Claus.
I just think that he reminds me a lot of my dad. Like him as an actor and a person just reminds me a lot of Jim. So
yeah, I can see that.
I think I just have like it just holds a special place in my heart, and I'm just like drawn to it a little bit more.
That's so cute. No, I love that. Fuck Charlie Brown. I said what I said. We're going with Tim Allen.
All right, so we're going with the Santa Claus over Charlie Brown. Next up, Frosty the Snowman.
Ooh.
Against the Grinch.
Wait, the animated Grinch or the Jim Carrey Grinch? That's a big difference. Jim
Carrey Grinch.
Oh.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I should be more specific.
All right. We gotta I'm pulling for the Grinch.
Me too. I think Frosty the Snowman is just like not a good movie, if I'm being honest.
I remember it being pretty cute. That's one that I should have watched, but I didn't. But I do remember it being pretty cute. But
I think the song is cuter than the actual like
think that's all I remember is just like the song sequence where he's like literally running through the village with the kids, fucking around with the traffic cop.
Yeah, but he's like, hey, little girl, you need to put yourself in danger and get me to somewhere cold. And then
yeah, we'll commit vandalism on the way.
Yeah, she does. And then he's like, oh wait, actually, you might die doing this, so I'm just gonna commit. Away. Yeah, I'm just gonna commit suicide and traumatize you. Yeah, I don't know. He's
gonna unalive himself.
It's like sad. It's not like very happy. The song is cute, but like I don't need to watch the thing.
I've always wondered, how it's like a magic hat that brings him to life, right? I'm just saying, like, I feel like people put a lot of faith in Frosty coming back when it's like, you have the hat. The power is with you. Go put it on a Christmas tree. That lasts longer. Christy the Christmas tree. Christ the Christmas tree.
Yes. Okay. Do you have anything to say about the Grinch, or should we like hold off on our arguments?
I enjoy the Grinch. I enjoy the Grinch.
Okay.
And it has to overpower Frosty and his weak ass morals.
All right, moving on.
Let's do it.
Okay, we have Santa Claus is coming to town.
Is that the origin story one?
Yes.
Okay.
Versus Die Hard.
No. Oh.
I mean, that's quite a pairing right there.
That's always hard to like really pick. So I always enjoyed the OG like origin story. Santa Claus is coming to town. I don't know. I just loved like the weird like Easter egg. I don't know, like fun fact that they just made Santa a ginger. Like it cracks me up. Die Hard. Die Hard, Die Hard, Die Hard. I think like just for like the cynic in me, like I want Die Hard to beat Santa Claus is Coming to Town, but I really love both movies, so this is actually very tough because like people argue that Die Hard isn't a Christmas film, it's just an action movie set around Christmas.
I mean, if we're talking like setting, it doesn't feel very Christmassy.
No.
I do, but I do enjoy the mix up though. I do think that it counts as a Christmas movie just because it has become so culturally like connected to Christmas.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. But
I think that's important too.
I also haven't seen it as much as Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Getting controversial.
But it does have Alan Rickman in it.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't think I would be arguing this hard for either of these movies, but
right? Like, why am I so conflicted? This was a tough pairing. I feel like this is the spirit of our Christmas bracket.
One of these movies is going up against A Christmas Story, so does it really matter?
Spoiler alert, everybody! No, I'm kidding. Should we just be like quirky and different and do Die Hard?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, cool.
All right, we have Jingle All the Way versus The Year Without a Santa Claus.
Year Without a Santa Claus is a classic saving Christmas story.
Yeah, I mean, we have the what is it? Frostmeister, Freezemeister, and Heatmeister. Yeah. I've only seen Jingle All the Way like a handful of times.
I think I've seen it once.
And it hasn't left that big of an impact on me, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. You'd have to remind me, honestly, what it's about.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is trying to get a toy for his kid, but it turns into like an action movie.
That's right. I was like, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. We already have our action movie. Okay.
Do we? Which one?
Die Hard.
Oh, right. You're right. Okay. All right. I mean, that's easy. So, Year Without a Santa Claus. Moving forward.
I'm Mr. White Christmas. I only have the TikTok version stuck in my head, so I'm gonna leave it there.
All right, we have Bad Santa versus The Polar Express.
All right.
Okay, this is hard because I've never seen Bad Santa.
Here's the thing. I watched
and Bad I hate Santa The Polar Express.
Okay, here's the thing. I watched Bad Santa today, and like, for all intents and purposes, I should love Bad Santa. Billy Bob Thornton. Christmas, chaos, and it's supposed to be like a comedy, obviously. I really wasn't that into it. It is very inappropriate.
Okay.
And I think that's what I was kind of like hitting at with my good Christmas morals.
Oh. Anti-bad
like,
Santa.
I mean, Bad Santa, he does learn the meaning of Christmas.
Okay.
Very quick synopsis. He's a con man who dresses up as Santa and like he's a mall Santa around the holidays. And on like the last night of mall Santa, he and his partner, who's one of like his Santa's elf, he plays the elf, they rob the mall, basically. And one of the mall security guards like finds out their plan and like gets in on it. And but he's like an antagonist. They have to like, you know, fight him. But he like is staying at this kid's house because the dad's in jail and his grandmother is like, you know, just not with it. And so he learns the meaning of, you know, Christmas and like community and family because he's basically like bonding with this kid while like living in his house. It's so weird, but it's really inappropriate. There's a lot, like he's an alcoholic, like there's just a lot of like problematic elements to it and not many redeeming moments.
Okay.
It's just and I love Billy Bob Thornton. But he's like too much. There wasn't, and Lorelai from Gilmore Girls is in it. She's the love interest. She has like a weird Santa fetish. It's crazy. Like it's bananas. That being said, I also hate the Polar Express.
All right. Well, I think. All right. If I can just be strategic here for a moment, let's push forward the Polar Express because we've both seen it and we can argue for or against it later.
Got it.
We have Christmas Vacation versus Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh man, I don't like either of these movies.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
No, hold on. I love Christmas with the Cranks and I hate Christmas Vacation.
I don't like Christmas.
That might be a hot take, but
I think I hate Christmas with the Cranks less than Christmas Vacation.
Okay, why do you hate Christmas Vacation?
I just don't like Chevy Chase, man. Like, he's not funny.
During the making of Christmas Vacation, Christopher Columbus was supposed to direct it. And he's like the king of Christmas movies and like heartwarming films.
Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Home Alone?
Darn right.
Yeah, so he was supposed to direct it, but couldn't get along with Chevy Chase, so he left.
Right, so that's an
and
obvious
I think that's like
bar against Chevy Chase. Yeah,
I think that, you know, tells us all we need to know about Chevy Chase. But also, I rewatched it today, and there was like one or two moments that I thought was like, okay, that's like kind of silly and goofy and funny, but overall, there's a lot of humor that doesn't age well.
Mm-hmm.
I never really watched it that much growing up, so I have no sentiment for it. Why don't you like Christmas with the Cranks though? Like it's Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim Allen, and like it's a funny concept and it's cute. I don't know. I don't
know. It just never, like, maybe when I watched it the first time, like it didn't resonate with me. Like, to be fair, I've only seen it like maybe twice. And like both times, the first time I watched it, I was like, like I love, like, again, it seems like the perfect storm. Like Jamie Lee Curtis, Tim Allen, Christmas movie, like, I don't know. It just really, it just didn't land with me. I don't know. Like there's no, it's not like they did anything bad. Whereas like Christmas Vacation is just like, sucks. Sorry. It just doesn't resonate with me. So I shouldn't say I hate it.
Okay.
I just say I never really like it. We don't mesh, I guess. I'll give it another chance. I haven't seen it in a minute, but I'll give it another chance.
Yeah, I feel like every time I watch it, I just enjoy it more. I think it's just very funny and an easy watch. There's nothing in it that's like challenging you, really, unless you're the type of person that goes on cruises every Christmas and like makes all of your neighbors and everybody like hate you. But
no way.
It's just very goofy, and again, the dad humor.
There were funny moments, obviously.
This is apparently a pro Tim Allen podcast at the moment. So.
Yeah, we're really pulling for Tim Allen here. I'm kidding.
I think this might be one of the hotter takes of the bracket is that we don't like Christmas Vacation.
Cranks is winning over National Lampoon. I think it's one of those movies that like people are like, oh my god, like it's a classic for some people, only because there wasn't really anything else. Like, what year did Christmas Vacation come out?
1989.
Yeah, see, that was before Elf. That was before half of these movies.
It was
before
after
Die Hard.
It was after A Christmas Story. They had stuff. It was after It's a Wonderful Life.
But nothing like super humorous. Like A Christmas Story is very funny, but like it's still like super family friendly, family oriented. I feel like Christmas Vacation is wandering into that like adult humor, but still a wholesome Christmas story. You know what I mean? Somewhat wholesome.
It's kind of cynical because it's like people working for their bonuses and relying on it for Christmas and all the things that go wrong as an adult during Christmas time, dealing with family and like getting
like it's all very relatable, but it's like it just was a lot of it was, as you kind of pointed out, in poor taste. So Christmas with the Cranks wins.
Yes. If we're talking about family values, like I'm sorry, Christmas with the Cranks is just
I'll give it another watch. I'll give it another watch.
All right. Next, we have Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
Nightmare Before Christmas versus Deck the Halls.
I didn't watch Deck the Halls. Never seen it.
All right. Then Nightmare Before Christmas moves forward. Deck the Halls.
What's it about?
Deck the Halls, it's Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito are neighbors, and they're like feuding because Danny DeVito wants to have the like biggest light display that you can see from space, and Matthew Broderick is kind of like the stick in the mud, like stick up his ass type neighbor, and they're feuding. But Kristen Chenoweth's in it.
Interesting.
That one, I think it's Maybe from Arrested Development. She's in it.
Oh, she's funny.
It's again another like early 2000s humor, similar to Four Christmases, where it's like it's just that type of comedy, and it doesn't age well. I think I saw it when it came out around Thanksgiving. It was like the one Thanksgiving that me and my family went to like my dad's boss's house or something for Thanksgiving, and they had a huge theater room, and for some reason we watched Deck the Halls. It's like a core
very limited in your film watching options.
It was a core memory for me. And I was like, oh, this is hilarious. But then rewatching it as an adult, I'm like, again, it didn't age well.
Less hilarious. So
we can argue more for Nightmare Before Christmas in the next round.
That's true. It's gonna get crazy.
Christmas Chronicles versus Gremlins.
Fuck Gremlins. I think I saw, again, that's another one I saw like once.
Okay. So you like Christmas Chronicles?
I mean, I like it more than Gremlins.
Gremlins is kind of racist. So
yeah.
Well, it has racist elements in it. I don't think the entire movie is racist, but
you don't?
Well, I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time, so I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Gremlins is whatever. I don't need it in my life. I need Christmas Chronicles in my life.
Yeah.
I like what's his face as Santa Claus.
Kurt Russell. He's a nice, like, here's my hot take. He's kind of like the hot Santa.
That's not a hot take. That's a true fact.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
He is indeed a hot Santa. All right.
He's the hot Santa.
So Christmas Chronicles moves forward. Next, we have White Christmas.
Okay. God, White Christmas. Such an old ass movie.
Versus All right. Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, okay. This is like a fair matchup.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go White Christmas.
Why?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, what came from Christmas but White Christmas, but the most iconic Christmas song, White Christmas?
Is it the most iconic Christmas song?
I would argue in a very long time, yes. Because like up until then, we had fucking hymns. Wow, I really can't believe like White Christmas. I mean, this is the era of Christmas movies where we get all the Christmas music we know and love now. White Christmas, Kalikalikimaka.
Yeah, okay.
Iconic. I mean, it is the same time.
Sure. Yeah, that's whenever Thanksgiving ends, it's the first song I put on.
Kalikalikimaka. And like on an actual serious note, like despite this running joke that I am a Republican, it's like it is it is kind of like sad to think about in a way because it is about like people who aren't home for Christmas. So, and of course they're at home because they're not at home because of war. So it's like, I'm not saying that's the best part of the movie, but it is like, it's almost like a perspective changer. Like, not necessarily like, I'm not necessarily pro-war. Obviously, I'm not, but elephant like staring me down right now. Like, what did you just say? But like, it does kind of put into perspective, like, you know, the kind of sad part of Christmas where like there are people out there that don't have like a good relationship with family or they don't have the opportunity to be home for Christmas and like I'll be home for Christmas. That's another one that came out around this time, this era of Christmas films and stuff like that. It's, I don't know, it's just like I'm really fighting hard for White Christmas for some reason. I'm just like,
I mean, do you have anything against Miracle on 34th Street?
No.
Okay. I just think the Kris Kringle is adorable, and little baby Natalie Wood is also adorable. And they filmed the like Macy's Day Parade scene like on the actual Macy's Day Parade. They had like they could only do the scenes once because they were filming it like live.
That's true.
It's just a very I mean, if we're talking about like the spirit of Christmas, I think Miracle on 34th Street like just gives me that more than White Christmas does.
Yeah. I guess I'm just a downer. I don't know. I just remember like I think more about White Christmas than I do Miracle on 34th Street, if I'm being honest.
I'm the opposite.
Ooh.
Like it's a little girl who's like who doubts the existence of Santa Claus because her mom is a realist and like doesn't want to like
what
give her
bitch.
who like doesn't want to like lie to her and like thinks that this is like a moral thing. And then she meets Santa Claus, who is the real Santa Claus, and is like they go to court because everyone doesn't believe that he is the real Santa Claus, but then they're able to prove it, and it's just very heartwarming and sweet. And then he gives her a house because that was her dream. She wanted to be able to live in a house with her mom.
Yeah. All right. You know what? I'll give it to Miracle on 34th Street only because Santa Claus goes to court. That is fucking the justice system wins in this movie. Yeah. And I mean it's also like Miracle on 34th Street is like the double whammy of like a child like relearning the meaning of Christmas. Because usually it's a child teaching an adult the meaning of Christmas. So okay.
It's like all of it. It's like the mom, the daughter, and the entire town learning about Santa Claus and the meaning of Christmas. So we're on our last 4 movies, guys.
Okay.
Love Actually.
Ooh.
Klaus.
Oh, come on.
All right. Okay. To be fair, Klaus is an incredible movie, and it's also very sweet, but it's not a classic yet. It came out 4 years ago, 2019.
Yeah, I think so.
Love Actually, 2003. Love Actually has its problems.
Love Actually has a lot of problems.
It has a lot of problems.
But you know what it does have?
Everyone that we love.
Right. I was going to say firstly and foremostly Colin Firth.
And Alan Rickman.
And
Liam Neeson.
2 people are
Keira Knightley.
I would take a bullet, as I've said many times, for Colin Firth. So I'm gonna take many bullets for Love Actually down the line. Like I think I'm gonna be fighting hard for Love Actually.
And I think at another point in this podcast, you said that you would also take a bullet for Rowan Atkinson, who was also in Love Actually.
yes, I would. I'm taking a lot of hits, y'all. I'm gonna be riddled with bullets by the end of this.
Klaus is very sweet and is slowly becoming a movie that I rewatch every year, but despite Love Actually's flaws,
it's the cast. The cast makes it more than like the story itself, because some of them, like as we talk about, are problematic and just plain strange.
Yeah, it's not like a very happy Christmas movie by any means.
No, like Emma Thompson and Alan Rickman's storyline is like mad depressing.
Like the one lady who like is trying to get down with that really hot guy but can't because she keeps answering her brother's phone calls, and he's
and he's like got a lot of problems, and like
it's very sad.
It really is. Like it puts you through your paces.
And there's just we'll get into it later. I think we need to save it.
But we have to save our energy.
Klaus, very sweet movie. You should watch it. I recommend it to anyone listening. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's on Netflix. It's very adorable. But Love Actually is moving forward in this instance. All right, final two. Okay. To end round one, we have Elf.
Okay.
Versus Home Alone.
Wow. Wow. That's another tough one. I mean, I obviously have my preference.
So do I.
But there is a lot to be said for Home Alone. Like, I'm not
on the same page.
I'm not pro Home Alone. I want Elf to go through.
So do I.
So I just want to give a quick shout out to Home Alone.
Okay. I feel like this is a hot take. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who will ride or die for Home Alone.
That's true.
But yes. I'm not one of them.
Yeah, but we are millennials and we are going with Elf.
I feel like millennials are the ones who are pro Home Alone.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it came first.
We are 1990. You and I are the tail end of the millennial generation. Like we're like
Home Alone came out in 1990 and Elf came out in 2003.
Right, but whatever. So I see what you're saying about like millennials being ride or die. Like you and I are, like I said, on the tail end of the millennial generation. So like I'm by no means a Gen Z. I will never ever claim that. But I was literally, it came out in 1990. It came out before we were born.
Mm-hmm.
Elf came out after we were born.
Elf came out when I was like 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah. Obviously we had more time to grow up with Home Alone, but Elf was having its moment, like when and Will Ferrell was a huge star. I mean, he's still a huge star, but he was an even bigger star back in that time because he was like, coming out of his SNL years, and that's when he had to do all of his Christmas movies. He like fucking destroyed Chevy Chase in that category. I will say that right now. But shout out to Home Alone. Nothing is more iconic about Home Alone than these three things. One, the entire sequence of them breaking in and just the amount of booby traps that went up and destroyed their lives and should have killed them on several occasions. Two, the entire sequence where he has to set up like all the mannequins and stuff to like fake that he's having a massive Christmas party. And three, get out of here, you stupid or Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And the shooting, that was great. Great scene. That's on a million different ugly Christmas sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe like an honorable mention is how everybody now points out like how fucking rich the McAllisters must have been.
Absolutely.
Like no wonder they got robbed. You know what I mean? And yeah, just like the fallout of like Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, which also was knocked down by A Muppet Christmas Carol. So Home Alone's done. There's only 2 in this bracket, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, this is the end of the first round. So we have all 32 movies, and Elf is moving forward. I think I agree with everything you said about Home Alone. I have nothing to add.
Excellent.
Okay, bye Home Alone.
Bye Home Alone.
All right, nice. We have completed round 1 of our Christmas movie bracket, and we're in an interesting place, I think.
It is. Okay.
Okay, round 2. Starting back at the beginning, we have A Christmas Story versus A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Dun 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 dun. Christmas Story.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love the Muppets. Like this is where it gets hard, as we said.
I just don't think Kermit and Gonzo have enough in this specific Muppet movie.
Right.
To beat A Christmas Story.
I agree.
I do think
like the Muppets, they have their whole franchise.
I don't have the fight in me for this particular pairing. Farewell to A Muppet Christmas Carol in this movie bracket. All right, next up we have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer versus The Holiday.
The Holiday.
Yeah. We're those bitches. We are those bitches.
We are those bitches. We did just admit to being millennials. So
yeah, yes. Rudolph is a classic, but The Holiday is having its moment. I will say Rudolph is technically more Christmassy, but the holiday just feels more warm and
Yeah.
relatable to me in my current stage of life.
I think, yeah, exactly. As we get older, like we relate more to the holiday and like we want, a sort of holiday situation. Like I would love to switch places with some chick in the UK and meet her, hot whatever and date him.
I mean, I
Or
would
her.
be either one. I would be. I mean, if we don't want to do like a Christmas in LA, whatever. But Jack Black is hot in this movie. I don't know if that's a hot take, but
Right? I'm going to say this. And this is a hot take unrelated to our bracket right now. You saying Jack Black is hot in The Holiday is like me saying Meatloaf was hot in Rocky Horror.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were really going to push back on that one.
No, I mean, I think you saying Meatloaf was like part of your sexual awakening.
Yeah, one small part. Like he didn't fucking unlock the gate.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I think if he was in it we're talking about Rocky Horror at the moment. If
it all
Meatloaf
comes back
had been,
to Rocky.
Yeah, always. If Meatloaf had been in the entire movie, I think it might have been too much. But because he only had his one song, he got to shine, and then he was immediately murdered. We have sympathy for him. So
absolutely.
It's a little bit more.
He didn't have enough time to like gross us out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get the ick from Meatloaf.
We did not get the ick from Meatloaf. Absolutely.
In Rocky Horror. But Jack Black is indeed hot in The Holiday. Yes. And honestly, hot all the time.
Honestly, yes.
Okay.
Come for me.
Goodbye, Rudolph. I'm sorry. All right, moving on. We have oh no. All right. We have Happiest Season versus the Santa Claus.
Man.
The Santa Claus. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going Santa Claus. Like Happiest Season's really cute and gay, and I'm for both of those things. But I'm also for Christmas tradition. Putting
family values
out of Christmas.
Traditional family values.
I did not see Tim Allen finding a Mr. Claus.
I mean, he just came out with a new show. Who knows? Things could be different, Mrs. Claus could be dead or divorced, and looking for something to spice it up. But anyways, traditional family values are important about it.
He's win again.
Yes. All right. Santa Claus moving forward. I'm sorry to the LGBTQ community.
There actually is a new gay Christmas movie out. I forget what it's called.
I'm sure there's lots coming out. This is the only one that made it on this bracket, though. So
it's the only one that matters.
The representation ends here.
And Aubrey Plaza's in it, and she's also hot.
Yes, absolutely. Next, we have The Grinch versus Die Hard.
It's safe to say that Die Hard did not last very, very long. I think we got to continue The Grinch.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't against The Grinch, like Die Hard really doesn't hold much weight as far as like Christmas movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Grinch moving forward.
Sorry, Die Hard.
All right, so that side is done. We're moving on to our second side here. We have The Year Without a Santa Claus versus The Polar Express.
Okay, Year Without a Santa Claus. Come on. Fucking Polar Express, are you kidding me?
I want to talk about the Polar Express though.
Oh yeah, sure, let's do it.
Why do you hate it?
I personally hate the animation.
I do too.
Unsettling.
It's I don't know what it was about the early 2000s or the 2000s in general, but like this came out and that one like Jim Carrey A Christmas Carol came out, both really disturbing and uncomfortable and like not like I don't want to watch them. I don't know. The trend was doing motion capture, I guess, but
I will give props to Tom Hanks for voicing like 7 of the characters, or he was like half the cast.
Okay, I love Tom Hanks, but it wasn't his range wasn't like distinct enough. For it to not just feel like it was Tom Hanks as the entire cast. Like if you could tell Tom Hanks was trying to have his Andy Serkis moment, but I'm sorry, there's only one Andy Serkis, and Tom Hanks is not him. Tom Hanks is Hollywood's father, whatever. But
Papa Hollywood,
Papa Hanks.
When I first saw it, like I didn't think of that, Also, I wasn't really like giving a shit about who was in the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Polar Express in a hot minute. That is a movie I actively avoid.
It's also just like such a like slow burn of a movie. I don't know. Like it just
The best scene is like when the train is like skidding all over the ice and like it's just all hell breaks loose.
but there's like too much of that. I feel like there's too much random action going on in this
Random
movie.
chaos with all these children on board.
Yeah, it just feels very dangerous. I kept turning to Ryan being like, "Do you think this train has ever like murdered a child?" Because of just
No,
like
I was
how
gonna say, does
dangerous
this
it
happen
is.
every year that they're like trying to get to the North Pole? They just like fuck around and find out, and there's like a child just gets flung from the plane or the train.
It's run over, falls off the train, like gets lost in this wilderness. Like
Oh man.
I know there's magic involved, but
They must have an insane insurance policy. That's all I gotta say.
that, and it does have Josh Groban. I feel okay. This movie has everything. I'm so passionate about this. I don't know why. This movie has everything that it needs to be one of the best Christmas movies of all time in order to
You
beat
sound like
everything on this bracket
from SNL. You're like, this movie has everything. It has a magical train. It has Tom Hanks voicing multiple characters. It has the hot chocolate seat and Josh Groban.
I was literally about to say that. It has Josh Groban. It's directed by Zemeckis. It has Tom Hanks as every character. It has Josh Hutcherson.
That's right. He's like the main kid, right?
He's the voice of the main kid. And also apparently the kid from Spy Kids is also like mixed in there. Animated, Polar Express, classic child's book. Like it has everything, but somehow is terrifying and
unsettling.
The Year Without a Santa Claus is moving forward.
And with that, The Year Without a Santa Claus wins.
All right, moving on. We have Christmas with the Cranks versus Nightmare Before Christmas. I vote Christmas with the Cranks.
Ooh, I vote Nightmare Before Christmas.
I don't like Nightmare Before Christmas.
What? That is a hot take. Bitches love Nightmare Before Christmas.
Not this bitch.
Clearly not. Why don't you like Nightmare Before Christmas?
I don't know. I just think it never clicked with me as a kid. Like it wasn't a movie that I returned to a lot. Like I saw it, but I think it's stunning. Like visually, it's obviously very impressive what they were able to do with the animation. But when it comes to Christmas movies, Christmas with the Cranks gives me the feelings more than Nightmare Before Christmas. It's not even because it's like, oh, is it a Christmas movie or is it a Halloween movie?
A lot of people think it's like, a lot of people claim it as a Halloween movie over Christmas movie. I am the opposite. I think it's more of a Christmas movie, obviously because Christmas is in the title, but I think it's just, it's kind of it is in a way, in an unconventional way, which I'm sure is what they intended. It does bring back those good Christian those family, the meaning of Christmas kind of thing. It's in a different way. Like, yes, he chooses to remain in his Halloween world, like the Satanist that he is, but it's a newfound appreciation for something that he literally never knew about, but he learns about Christmas and he's like, this is awesome. Yeah, I'll come back anytime. Love Christmas. Christmas is amazing. So is Halloween. And I'm, as much as you are, a hoe for Halloween, so.
That's true. I mean, I do appreciate the vibes of Nightmare Before Christmas. I do appreciate the push and pull of Halloween versus Christmas because I enjoy both holidays.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pull this card, racism. There's some questionable vibes in Nightmare Before Christmas.
You're really pulling the racist card.
I am
on Nightmare Before Christmas.
I mean, Oogie Boogeyman or whatever his name is, like,
yeah. Also, like Tim Burton has been like kind of problematic in general as far as like race is concerned.
I mean, to be fair, Tim Allen is in the other movie, but
yes,
but the movie itself is very wholesome and cute,
and Jamie Lee Curtis makes up for literally.
All right,
anything. I will secede simply because I was harping so much on good family values. And also, Christmas to me is definitely more like a feel-good, warm and fuzzy holiday, as we talked about. And Nightmare Before Christmas, as cute and feel-good and you know, problematic as it is, it shall be eliminated.
I will say, like, I do agree with you that it's a fine movie. Like,
yeah,
it's made well, it's cute. But if I'm trying to pick a movie to watch, like on Christmas morning, like I'm watching Christmas with the Cranks. So,
do you watch it on Christmas morning?
I would.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
All right, Christmas with the Cranks is moving forward.
Rock on. Ooh.
Okay, we're narrowing in at the end of round 2. So we have Christmas Chronicles versus Miracle on 34th Street.
Sorry, I just realized what was coming after this.
This is gonna be this is interesting. This is a very interesting episode. I'm very happy with how this is going so far.
I know I feel like because we talked about this a lot after the Disney bracket came out and how I was really vocal about my opinions, and I think it's a lot harder because like we don't know what's coming like right away. Like we built the bracket from scratch on the show. So yeah, this is interesting. Okay, Christmas Chronicles versus Miracle on 34th Street. Here is where I will go Miracle on 34th Street.
Okay.
Love Hot Santa.
Yeah.
But I think I'm here for not Christmas Chronicles. I'm just here for like the nostalgia and the cultural value that Miracle on 34th Street has over Christmas Chronicles.
I would agree with that.
We have to honor that for sure.
I think with time, Kurt Russell will gain the status.
Yeah. He can come down my chimney at any time.
We're on the same page here.
We are.
I don't want to fight too much. I think Christmas Chronicles is very cute, but it's clear Miracle on 34th Street is moving forward. All right. And I don't know why this one is so spicy. We have Love Actually versus Elf. I feel like we have a correct answer that we should go with, but
I am going to put up a fight.
All right,
I'm going to put up a fight for Love Actually.
Okay, I want to hear it.
Like, this is one where it's like, Elf should be the obvious answer. As weird as Love Actually is, there are multiple wholesome moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the scene where Colin Firth is going to look for Aurelia, and, like, because he doesn't speak Portuguese, like, the entire town is, like, following him, and, like, they're like, what the hell does he want with Aurelia? And they're like, one kid, I just like my favorite line of the whole movie is like this kid in Portuguese is like, you know, it's like a game of like telephone. They keep misinterpreting what he wants with her. And one kid's like, he's gonna go murder Aurelia. It's just so funny. I think my love for Colin Firth like surpasses all.
Transcends everything.
Transcends all. There is, I do have to, you know, also acknowledge the problematic elements such as
Aurelia's dad's trying to sell her into slavery or like sell her to get married or whatever.
Yeah, that's problematic. Also, the guy who's in love with Keira Knightley, his best friend's like, you know, wife, and he's been in love with her for ages, and then that whole card sequence is just that's not it. It's sexist. It's like weirdly like fat phobic. Yes. Like the prime minister's like boo thing. She's like mid-sized at best. Like she's not even.
She's like, yeah, she's gorgeous. I don't know what.
Yeah, if we're gonna be like, and like obviously there's nothing wrong with being like plus size, but they make it a negative in the movie. But like if we're gonna point out the obvious, she is not fat.
No, absolutely
she
not.
Is again at most mid-size. Like you know, so that's all so problematic. There are so many wholesome moments. I fucking love Colin Firth. I love Rowan Atkinson.
Alan Rickman cheating on his wife or trying to cheat on his wife. It's just,
and that's like not fully resolved, and it's kind of weird. It makes you sad.
Liam Neeson being a widower is very sad.
It's very sad, but what I like is like they didn't force him to like fall in love with anybody, you know? Like they let him be, and he's taking care of his stepson, which What a cute kid. I know he's like, 40 when he filmed that movie, but
I like how they tried to convince us that this kid was in a healthy long distance relationship at the end of the movie.
yes, like they were sending little like, messages back and forth. I love that because she's moving to like the US or something. Mm-hmm. That was very funny.
Then what's his name? Martin Freeman? No.
Yes.
Martin Freeman,
and
like
the other girl, they're like porn actors, and they fall in love, and like their love story's so wholesome. Like, yes, they're like, just like, nasty, like, just kidding. Sex work is real work, but it's like so much like grimier, and you think like, oh, they're like really sexual beings, but they have like the most wholesome chemistry. Like, it's weird, but it's cute.
But unfortunately, I do think we have to push Elf forward.
I feel like it's just too soon. I mean, it's also too soon for Elf. I understand that too.
I mean, I think Elf holds a more like place in my childlike heart than, Love Actually is like my cynical millennial heart.
The 4 chambers of our hearts.
Yes.
Heartless millennial versus child.
But Elf is just like timeless.
Yeah, I mean,
and so far has aged perfectly. So
it has. You're absolutely right. All right.
But I think you made a great argument for Love Actually, and I'm sorry to see it go, but it is time.
It is time.
Okay, Elf. That's the end of round 2. We are narrowing it down very quickly. So
this is getting crazy.
Oh no. We have A Christmas Story versus The Holiday.
So, Christmas Story versus The Holiday. I mean, I feel like the answer is obvious.
Does it because a lot of people does it have to be though?
Girl, I gave up Love Actually.
This is upsetting, but
it's so upsetting.
Okay. I know what has to happen. I want to say that The Holiday is a perfect film.
Perfect
film. The vibes are stellar. It is my dream to just go to a little British cottage and be there during Christmas time and have Jack Black join me.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's switch out Jude Law for Jack Black. Like the Americans and the Brits switch. It would be great.
And have him write a like song for me.
I know. Oh and my gosh.
Have him be obsessed with movies like I am. Like
literally stop. You're gonna make me cry. You're gonna make me cry in Single, Olivia. It's not that kind of show. A Christmas Story is literally about Christmas, and I feel like The Holiday is a lovely rom-com like Die Hard that happens to be set around Christmas.
You're right. Okay, A Christmas Story moves forward.
That was another hard one to let go. So we did the right thing though.
We knew it was coming though. All right.
We did.
The Santa Claus versus the Grinch.
Ooh. This might be where it gets like really spicy.
I have to say the Santa Claus.
I have to agree.
Okay.
I mean, I figured you and I were on the same page, but I feel like a lot of people love the Grinch.
Yeah.
The Grinch is another like cynical Christmas movie.
It's a lot. It has like I don't know what it was about the 2000s. And this was, kicked off the 2000s, so maybe it set the tone, but like that cynical, it's like before 9/11. So like what's your problem?
To say that. Like what do you have to be cynical about?
What's your problem? What's your damage?
What do you have to complain about? Y2K? Wow. That was a nothing burger and you know it.
But I don't know, it's like kind of cynical and dark, but obviously it ties it together in a very fun-loving way. Jim Carrey's peak Jim Carrey in this movie.
Shout out to the fact that he had to sit in makeup for like 5 hours minimum to like get all the fur and shit on him.
What the Grinch does have going for it though is Baby Grinch. So yeah. Baby Grinch is iconic, but the Santa Claus again is just, I will be watching the Santa Claus Christmas Eve, it puts me in the mood for
the Christmas spirit,
spending time with my family and reminds me of my childhood. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel you. All
Do you have
right.
anything else to say about the Grinch though before we kick it to the curb?
The one scene where he's like in his cave and he's, talking and stuff, and then there's the echo, and he's like, I'm an idiot. And the echo's like, you're an idiot. That like lives rent free in my mind. So that's all I have to say.
The Grinch does have good humor for both kids and adults, I think. It has a good mixture. This is going to be difficult. I already know. All right. So we have The Year Without a Santa Claus versus Christmas with the Cranks.
See, this is where it gets to the point where like I don't feel strongly about either.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I love Christmas with the Cranks more than I love A Year Without a Santa Claus, just because I for the same reasons I keep saying, but I don't want to bully you into this one way or another. But
you can bully me. Christmas with the Cranks can win. It's
Christmas
going against Elf.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. All right.
Spoiler alert, everyone.
That's not true. We don't know that yet. We're not.
Oh, no, you're right. You're totally right.
A Year Without a Santa Claus. It has that really creepy song about I believe in Santa Claus like I believe in love. And it's just like Santa Claus standing at the end of the kid's bed. Like
yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's supposed to be sweet, but it's a little unnerving.
No, you're totally, yeah. I remember that.
So yes. Year Without a Santa Claus. Goodbye. All right. Final round of round 3. We have Miracle on 34th Street versus Elf.
Here's where I'm going Elf.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it more. It's hilarious. It gets the same point across of getting a whole city to believe in Santa without wasting the state's resources. It also saves a child from a cynical parent.
True.
With the help of an elf.
True. I think the gag of a grown man acting like an elf works in its favor somehow.
Like, what a brilliant concept. You know?
Like if of all of the like man baby movies that exist, like this one works because he needs to have that like childlike naivety or naivete. Yeah. I don't know. And it's harkening back to the Rankin Bass like aesthetic with the yellow, the costumes and the like setting of the North Pole and the like stop motion characters at the beginning. And like, it's just it like has that classic feel to it.
Right.
But
absolutely.
And then we have James Caan in it, who is I just think it's hilarious casting. It's brilliant. And I think that watching Elf for the first time is a core memory for me because it was the first time I've ever seen my dad like cry laughing within the first 5 minutes of the film. Like,
yeah, that's such a good movie. And it's so sweet, you know?
It is very sweet. It's also one of the few movies to make me cry.
Really? You cry watching Elf?
The first time I watched it, I cried, yeah.
Aww.
Because when he's also, it has Peter Dinklage in it. Like, we haven't even mentioned that.
Is that Peter Dinklage's like breakout role?
No, I don't think so.
That's just like the earliest like movie I remember Peter Dinklage in.
I don't know if it's his breakout role, but he's amazing in it. No, but the scene where like his dad yells at him, like, you're ruining my life, get out. Like, it's just like so heartbreaking because you know that all he wants is like his dad to love him and like make Christmas, like he just is so wholesome and doesn't understand.
Make Christmas great again.
At 10 years old, it was one of the first movies to make me cry. So I think I have to agree with you. I do love Miracle on 34th Street for all the reasons that we mentioned before, but
right. Elf it is.
Elf it is. All right. Round 4. We have A Christmas Story versus The Santa Claus. I know what you're going to say.
I am going to say A Christmas Story. I feel like A Christmas Story embodies the actual experience of a child on Christmas. Because like Santa's not real.
Take it back.
I'm sorry. But there's still that wonder and there's still that like, you know, hilarity. And it is like, even though it was like made such a long time ago and it's set in like the 40s, like there's still so many relatable elements to it. Just like the dad gets me every time. Like him, like when he's cursing, like dealing with the boiler, and they're like he swore and wove a tapestry of profanity that still hangs over Lake Michigan or whatever. Like so many like iconic one-liners. The thing with the lamp, like the lamp is hilarious. The War of the Lamp. Like as over it as I am seeing like lamp ornaments, like lampshade leg lamp ornaments in like stores and stuff, like it's still amazing. It's ingenious. It holds up. Like there's really the only like problematic element to it is like the scene where they're at the Chinese restaurant and the restaurant employees are singing and they're really like hitting the fact that they can't pronounce L's. But all the same, I don't know. It's just that is a movie I watch every year with my family. So there's also just a sentimental attachment to it.
Yeah. There's a lot of like the relationship that parents have to their kids and the relationship that kids have to Christmas in general and their friends and wanting things and like just dreaming about Christmas and Santa Claus and
and like the mall Santa, like give me a break. Like it's all brilliant. It's also kind of just cool because they really did a great job, like, you know, setting it in the 40s, like just to see like what Christmas was like back then. Like it's not that much different than it is now, but like I don't know, it's just it's really wholesome. It's really sweet. And I love Tim Allen and I love the Santa Claus. But it's just not one that I go back to every single year. Like if it's on, I'll watch it and I'll enjoy myself. That is my argument for A Christmas Story. The defense rests.
I don't have too much of a rebuttal. I mean, I agree with, like, I feel like I agree with you, but I also love the Santa Claus. And for different reasons, though. Like, I think the humor in the Santa Claus is just a lot different than the humor in A Christmas Story. But they both revolve around family, and like A Christmas Story kind of harkens back to the like importance of just family, and despite like the difficulties you go through and disagreements and all that, they are still able to enjoy Christmas together. In the Santa Claus, it's kind of more singular. It's about Tim Allen's character becoming Santa Claus and his relationship to his son, obviously, but also just like how he changes. I think that's why I also have to agree that A Christmas Story moves forward in this instance.
Yay! Dun, dun, dun.
We have Christmas with the Cranks versus Elf. Elf.
Sorry, Christmas with the Cranks.
All right. That was clear, obvious. There's no argument here. All right. Down to the nitty gritty. This is it. This is the last stand of this Christmas movie bracket. And
how did I know this was going to happen?
You just know both of us very well, I think.
Yeah. I mean, part of me was hoping that Elf and Christmas Story were on opposite brackets, which is what happened. Because I feel like it would have been a lot harder to do this earlier on. But yeah, I figured this was gonna happen.
I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss for words. I don't really
I know, same. Should we flip a coin? No, I'm kidding.
Which one do you want to win, I guess?
See, I don't know, because here's the thing. I feel like both. I mean, we're pretty basic right now, honestly. If I'm being honest, like Christmas Story versus Elf.
I mean, we had to redeem ourselves because we had Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch is the best Disney movie ever made in our Disney bracket, so I think we had to.
I stand by that decision. I stand by that conclusion.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I feel like that was a hotter take than where we are now with Christmas Story and Elf. Lilo and Stitch is the best Disney movie.
I mean, I just think A Christmas Story and Elf are like they're representative of two different types of Christmas movies.
Exactly.
And they are perfect in their own ways.
Yeah.
It just depends on what you want out of a Christmas movie.
I guess for me, I personally want A Christmas Story to win. Only because that movie, like, I love Elf. I love Elf so much. I love A Christmas Story more. And it's not even the sentimental. Well, it is. It's like a different kind of like feeling. It's not sentimental because like I watch it, with my family a lot. But I think it's just that feeling I get at the end of watching A Christmas Story. That's the movie that makes me ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because like he's sleeping like very dangerously with his little gun. And like I'm also not pro gun, but you know what I mean? Like he worked so hard and he really did not think he was going to get it. And he really put his like heart and soul into getting that gift. And like, just like that scene, first of all, the scene with the parents after they go to bed and they're watching the snowfall. Like, I don't want kids, but like, I want that.
Yeah.
So like, it was like such a like very small, like romantic vignette of like what parents, first of all, like what they deal with in general, like putting together this whole fucking production for children. So that moment was just like so sweet. And then like when they're just sleeping with like, fucking Randy has the blimp and he's asleep with the blimp. And then Ralphie has his little gun. And he's like, I dreamt of like shooting perfect hip shots on the wing and shit like that. And in the snow. And it's just like the perfect Christmas story to me. Elf is it's just such a great movie too. I'm so conflicted. I really want A Christmas Story to win.
I mean, I think we're on the same page. I think A Christmas Story is like what you described about the parents watching the snow. Like that's all I want out of Christmas is that like feeling in that moment of just being with someone that I love and just feeling very relaxed and content after working hard to make the people around me like loved and celebrate it. Like celebrate the season, Yeah,
exactly.
That's the vibe I want. And Elf has a lot of other things that I really appreciate. And like I said, the first time watching Elf was like a core memory for me that reminds me of watching a movie with my dad and him just having like so much joy, and that like warms my heart,
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna sit down and watch a movie on Christmas Eve and I have to choose between the two of them, I'm choosing A Christmas Story.
Yeah. I'll watch Elf on Christmas Day. I'll watch it right after A Christmas Story. Yeah. But if it's like, 9 p.m. and I'm like, okay, I want to watch a movie, but I got to go to bed, I'm watching A Christmas Story.
We've done it. We did it.
That was tough.
A Christmas Story is officially the best Christmas movie of Another Picture Show podcast.
You heard it here first, folks. We came out with the hottest takes, the biggest thoughts.
I think we have a decent list.
You did. You pulled it together. You really did. This was awesome. I liked the pulling it out of a hat or a bag or bowl, whatever the hell the thing is. Process. That made it a lot more spicy, like from the jump,
I mean, we had It's a Wonderful Life versus A Christmas Story at the very beginning. Right. I think if I had to like make the bracket beforehand, that would not have happened. They would have been on opposite sides.
I feel like It's a Wonderful Life did get snubbed pretty early on.
They would have been on opposite sides, and we would have been fighting for It's a Wonderful Life longer than we had to in this version. But I liked how we did it. I think it was entertaining. It was fun, and we should do it again sometime.
I think maybe we should.
A different theme.
Different theme. I think maybe like a Halloween movie bracket.
Halloween movie, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be kind of good.
Rom-coms,
Easter. No, I'm kidding. The Passion of the Christ. Mel Gibson movies. I think we should do a bracket.
Oh God. Okay.
No, I'm kidding. All right, I'm joking. All right.
All right. Well, let's end the Christmas episode talking about Mel Gibson. That's perfect.
That that was actually on my agenda. No, of course not. He's a terrible person. Anyway.
I love you, Madalyne. I am thankful for you always, and I'm very happy to be doing this podcast with you. 'Tis the season.
'Tis the season. Aaron Sorkin didn't get us this year.
Not this year.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Lick it up, baby. Lick